when my parents handed the business to my sister because she's better with people. My own mother just flicked 2 paper napkins at my daughters like they were stray dogs. In that instant, something inside me didn't just break, it shattered, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. Harper and Chloe, still in their soccer uniforms, just watched those cheap squares flutter down, landing softly on the table. Slowly, their little faces, a heartbreaking mix of confusion and silent hurt, looked up at me. The air around our fancy restaurant table suddenly turned thick, heavy. Linda, my mom, had told them they could eat later. Meanwhile, right across from us, my sister Natalie's girls, Ava and Emma, were already happily digging into their expensive pasta, every bite a loud declaration of everything that was wrong. Ethan, Natalie's husband, let out a chuckle that scraped against my nerves. Should have fed them first, he grinned, not even bothering to glance my way. A cold knot tightened in my chest, but I forced a polite smile, leaned close to Harper and Chloe, and whispered, "Copy that." When the waiter returned, notepad ready, I stood up. But to truly grasp why that specific moment hit me so hard, you need to understand how we even got to that restaurant. How we ended up at a table where 2 little girls were silently learning, loud and clear, that in this family, there's a VIP list, and everyone else just claps quietly from the sidelines. I'm Michael, 36. I've been walking on eggshells around my family since I was old enough to realize that not all kids receive the same kind of love. My 2 daughters, Harper, 10, and Chloe, 8, are the absolute best parts of me. And my wife, Rebecca? She probably should have run for the hills, considering the family she married into. But she stayed, mostly for me, sometimes just for the sheer entertainment value. Because my family isn't merely dramatic. No, they're a slow-motion train wreck where the engine swears it's never derailed, while the caboose is, quite literally, on fire. Let me tell you about my sister, Natalie. She's 38, 2 years older, and she's been the undisputed princess since the day she was born. If Natalie spilled juice as a kid, it was always, "Michael, what did you do to distract your sister?" If she forgot her homework, it was, "Michael, why didn't you remind her?" And God forbid I ever wanted anything she already had. She didn't just get the bigger slice of cake, she got the entire cake stand. Of course, she married Ethan. He's one of those guys who just looks like he owns a yacht, whether he actually does or not. They live in a massive house in a fancy suburb with a dog that gets Christmas presents from my parents, while I'm still waiting for my girls to receive a single birthday card. Not that I expected anything anymore. Hope had checked out of that building years ago. Now, my mom, Linda? She could win an Olympic medal in selective generosity. Lavish brunches for Natalie's kids, just because packages sent to summer camps, bragging to her church group about how well Natalie was raising her daughters. But for mine? You should learn to budget better, Michael. As if budgeting would magically create grandparents who actually remember birthdays. That dinner wasn't just some random bad night. It was the culmination of years of tiny humiliations, forced smiles, and me letting things slide for the sake of peace. I used to think being the bigger person meant staying quiet, just letting go. But watching those napkins flutter down, watching my daughter's innocent faces, I realized that kind of peace isn't worth the soul-crushing price. What would you have done in that moment? Don't miss the twist bottom left, full story.